Hey, good evening. Welcome to Pixel Village, and I am Radha Krishnan. Well, I'm really excited today. Well, in fact, I had prepared that I'll say this and I say that as a part of the introduction speech, but I've forgotten everything because I'm so excited having a pre-interview discussion with our mentor today. He has prepared so much for us. And in that small interaction that we had, I got so excited that I even forgot my initial introduction speech, you see. Let's see how people are, how many people. Yes, there is an echo in my voice. Oops, I don't know. Maybe you are playing. Yesterday afternoon, I saw your video. Thank you. I mean, people are already there. Sangeeta Balakrishnan saying, good evening. Thank you, Sangeeta. Then you have Yogesh Shahid. Rail Guru. Wow, Rail Guru. Thank you. Saurabh. Hello, Saurabh. How are you? Santosh. Shohit. We have Daniel Maridas. Wesley. Hello, Wesley. How are you? Well, here it is. Here, Wesley is here. I don't know if you remember seeing the All About Color, that live streaming that we had. We got such fantastic response about that particular session. Here is Wesley, the man who made that possible. He's here. Thank you, Wesley, for joining us. I know it's late in Malaysia. You're part of the world, but thank you. Good evening. Creative Oxide saying, good evening. Pixel Arts. Krishna Kumar Menon. Oh yeah, Krishna Kumar Menon. How are you? Deepak, Anwar Tanawala. Anwar Bhai, thank you very much. We have the JMJ waiting here. Manchester United. Wow. Okay. Very interesting. Thank you very much. All right. Before we begin, everyday session, it's a kind of a ritual at Pixel Village to kind of introduce Pixel Village to you and what Pixel Village do. Well, Pixel Village originally started as a YouTube channel, and subsequently we branched out into online photography education, and we put together a series of some really fine photo mentors for you on Pixel Village, and we have them at Pixel Village. So I'd like to play a small video for you about Pixel Village.
How I go and shoot a wedding?
You want to create something in the world, you have to come out of the condition. I am a lifestyle photographer based out of New Delhi. पिक्सल विलेज का जो अप्रोच है वो जरा अलग है.
So that's right. Pixel Village is now a website, an online photography education portal. We not only have classes, we have free classes, we have free webinars. Now this is currently streaming live on our website. We have all these amazing people teaching you photography there. We not only just give away classes, we also give away prizes for learning with us. So this is what we are giving away for last month's subscription. So the people who have subscribed to classes last month are going to win one prize from one person is going to definitely. There are 5 different prizes. We gave away one yesterday, and we will be giving away one today. So these are made possible by the amazing people from Digitech and also people from Srishti. And today we will be giving away this flash. Okay, so we'll come to that presentation sometime later during the presentation, and just hold on, stay there. If you are a subscriber and if you have bought classes in Pixel Village last month in May, then yeah, you may want to stay tuned. Okay, so now on to today's mentor. Of course, he is a mentor in Pixel Village. But he is not only an amazing photographer, he's an amazing person. He actually has led by example. Okay, if he's telling you something, it is not, it is not something which he studied from a book or read or heard. It's from his life. It's real life experience. When he transfers some understanding to you, it is most of it is from his real life experience. I don't want to go too much explaining to him. I think we must listen, from him. Today's mentor that I would like to present to you is none other than Jassi Oberai. Jassi sir, welcome to Pixel Village.
Thank you, Radha sir. Thank you. It's been it's such a nice feeling to be on your platform today, and I think there's nothing better than speaking on with you and on Pixel Village.
You're welcome, always.
I have that special connection with you and Pixel Village because of the reasons that you well know.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
so
you.
let's kickstart today's session. Today's session is about bringing out the creative person in you, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want, like I said, I don't want to come in too much in between and say things. I will definitely tell more about you. There are a few things that many of them may not know. Those things, if you don't say, I will say at the end about your YouTube and about your teaching and about your photo tours and all that. But currently, the stage is yours. Over to you, sir. I am going to be out of the way. It's up to you. It's in fact not up to you. It is over to you. Sorry, but my bad English.
It's okay. I think we can keep the screen like this for the time being, because before I come to the presentation, and I would like to talk something about
absolutely. Please
my
go ahead.
Initial, yeah. So when Radha sir connected with me asking that he's planning something like this, and I was in a dilemma how to really go about it, and then a thought came to me that why not talk about a topic which is very close to my heart, because most people say that you are either born creative or you are not creative. So if you are not born creative, then creativity cannot be inculcated. Creativity cannot be learned. And I don't blame them, because that's their thought process. But the way I have come out to this level, I can very easily say that if I could do it, anybody sitting out there watching this video can also do. It's as simple as that. I'm not talking about how much hard work. That will all depend upon some other parameters, but yes, you can do. Now, so that is why I titled it as Unleash the Creative Artist in You, the artist in you. And I'm so creative without my camera that I can't even draw a line straight. I can't even draw a circle perfectly. So my circle looks like an amoeba, and my line looks like that it is a rumble strip. So and I'm not joking. I'm not joking. This is the reality.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And so, if I would take you back, I would like to talk something how it all started.
Sure.
Everybody is going to be very surprised to know that my father was a serious hobbyist. photographer. He was a government servant, so he was working in railways. But I always grew up seeing him play with his Yashica SLR. At home, wherever he used to travel, he used to click those images, and he was so passionate about it that um, we had those days the government houses were very small, so not enough space. So our kitchen was kind of makeshift dark room. So whenever he used to, whenever he had to develop the images, so the kitchen would get converted into the dark room, and all those projectors and chemicals and the red light inside, and I used to be a part of those sessions quite regularly. But to be honest, if I have to say that, did I get interested in photography at that point of time? My answer is no. I don't know for what reason he never pushed me into it, and I don't know for what reason I never got attracted towards it. I have no clue. And despite the fact that my dad's younger brother, Chachaji, he was also into photography. And later on, and my cousin, his son, also picked up photography. And I was getting bombarded from three sides that why don't you pick up the camera? And I said, it's okay, I don't feel like. So for my kind of initial part of being in touch with photographers ended there. So I never got into it. I never got interested in it. And then after the digitalization of photography, he also left photography because he had three different hobbies. So photography, writing, and painting. So after digitalization, I don't know for what reason, he left photography. And then he started getting into writing and painting. So he still continues to write. But in those days, in terms of education, there was very limited choices. Unlike today, if you are good in biology, if you're good in mathematics, then you will become an engineer. If you are not good in mathematics, then you will become a doctor. So, and commerce was always looked down upon. So commerce, that means he's not good. He's not good in anything. So, and we did not have, so since I was bad in mathematics, so being into the medical science was the only option. So my first goal or first passion or first whatever became to become a doctor. I tried very hard, I could not. Then I ended up becoming a pharmacist, the second fiddle. So I'm a pharmacy graduate,
Wow.
So, so nobody, very few people know this. Hardly anybody knows this. So,
I thought you are in marketing. I mean, you're.
I'm coming to that. So I became a pharmacist. So while I was even doing my pharmacy graduation course, I had this habit of I had this kind of passion of doing things. Whenever I would get an opportunity, I would try and experiment with new things. So while in college, there was holidays of 15-20 days in between, and I thought, who will come back to my house in a train and waste that much of time? So how about doing something? So I went and got myself a job as a sales rep in Eureka Homes. So I continued doing these things. So I was always wanting to interact with people. Anyways, to cut it short, because there's too much to share, I ended up after completing my degree, I ended up in a pharmaceutical company. I got trained and I started working as a manufacturing chemist. I did not want to get into MR because in India, I think still medical representatives are not highly paid, and it's not a great career to have. So I thought, why not get into manufacturing side? But I very soon realized that that's not the line for me, because I was allergic to a lot of chemicals and powders and all those things that are raw materials which I used to make tablets and capsules and all. and I was already looking an exit route out of that. So I thought at least let me do something. So I became an approved, government approved manufacturing chemist for. So I still have the license to manufacture tablets, capsules, injectables, syrups, and all. So the moment I got that, I left pharmaceutical industry. Then that time IT was booming, so I got into IT. I started into sales and marketing, and worked with Wipro, and also and then IT. Since I was not in a way educated for IT, so I realized that growth is not going to be beyond a certain point. I will have to stop until unless. So my growth will get slowed down because I had no formal education in that. So that then insurance was coming up. So I jumped into life insurance. In between, I was selling a lot of things. I sold bags, I sold toys. So don't ask. So a lot of things were going on. So whenever I could get some opportunity. So anyway, so I sold insurance, but insurance I rose well. So insurance was one phenomenal journey that I had. So again, and no connection with photography till now. Nothing was happening. I did not even have a camera with me. Maybe I think one Sony 2 megapixel camera or 1 megapixel camera was there with me just to have snapshots,
travel.
family snapshots, and travel probably. Nothing beyond that. Because those days even mobile phones did not have cameras, so mobile phones were mobile phones. So no other option. So and then something happened. In my 13th year of my job, I was working with an MNC life insurance company, and my team had performed very well. So my team had won an excursion to Corbett. And I went there with my team, and then I decided I am going to Corbett, and it was my dream destination. So I will buy a small camera. So I asked my cousin who was in the US, I said, which camera? So he was very happy that at least I'm asking for the camera. So he gave me some prosumer camera. He gave me inputs on one Canon prosumer camera. I don't exactly remember the model number right now. But yes, it was a prosumer camera. Not interchangeable lens, but everything else, manual mode and raw shooting and everything. So I took that, and 3 days I was really enjoying shooting whatever way I could shoot. Last day, we were sitting in. It was winter morning, early winter morning. We were in Tikala range in their forest. I think mess having breakfast, and it was a large hall. And I was sitting in one corner having aloo ka paratha, and there's this guy in his late 30s. He just walks in with his camera and white long lens attached to it. He just goes and sits across me at the end of the room. And I don't know what happened. I just got up, leaving my breakfast table. I just go to him and I tell him that I'm so and so, and I'm really fascinated by what you're carrying. So could you give me some more details about? And I asked some silly questions. I remember that. Why the lens is white and why there are buttons on lens as well. So probably the first time I had seen that kind of a lens. So he was very patient and he kept on answering my silly questions. He made me click also in those 10 minutes. Would you believe that I did not even ask his name? I did
Name. Because you're so excited. That's interesting.
I think there is you sometimes get that calling and you don't even know the reason for it. And I think that was my calling. Those 10 minutes changed everything. I still don't know him. I have no clue where he lives and what he does. But if I remember faintly, he said that he is full-time into photography and he does wildlife photography, and also he showed some fabulous images. And so I was kind of fascinated. I came back, sold my 3-day-old prosumer at a loss, and purchased my first DSLR.
Okay.
And purchased my first DSLR, and that was
So he was the trigger point, and he's like a God-sent man. So with a man without a name, but he
Yeah.
had a mission in life was to
yeah,
trigger that photographer in you. Yeah,
yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, so and then things changed. Then I was so hooked on. So I would spend hours clicking and doing whatnot, and everything was. I started enjoying the whole process of experimenting with the DSLR, and then I was transferred. I changed my job, and I was transferred from this job to a national role in. I joined a new company. I joined a new company as a national role in Mumbai, and that is where it took a different turn because Mumbai, my family was here, so I had a lot of time at hand. It was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, so Saturday, Sunday always was for photography. So I joined a group there. I made friends. I started attending workshops and whatnot. And in my company itself, they started giving me small internal assignments, seeing my passion. So their job was not to actually encourage me. Their job was to somehow save some more money, which they were paying outside. So, but then 3 years into it, and I finally decided to quit. And all of a sudden, and I said, no, nothing doing. I have to pursue photography full time. Uh, I think I would not suggest that everybody do that because that is not the right way to do. But I still did it because I don't know what. Sometimes things happen in your life. A decision comes, and I'm as such very impulsive. So I took that decision to quit. Came back to Delhi and started pursuing photography full time and trying to learn and did a lot of mistakes but I do I regret that? Not at all. Um, because and I did not even consult this with anybody because had I consulted, I knew that it will not be possible for me to leave because I was already at 39 at that point of time. So so there's a lot of liabilities at your head, and so you have to take care of that. So, anyways. Fast forward, I'm sitting in front of you, talking to you, and
About photography.
About photography.
By the way, no age is if you really want to do something, if you want to get out and do something, no age is too late for you. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. They say that life begins at 50.
There are so many examples in front of you. So many.
Yeah.
I mean, few I can talk about. Bruce Yardley, if you remember, Bruce Yardley, he was a New Zealand cricket captain, started playing cricket at 39 and became the captain of the New Zealand cricket team. And not only a cricket team, New Zealand is a small country, small population, but they used to play great cricket. There are so many things. So nothing is. I mean, age is just a number. You want to do something, you want to do something. Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's so many examples in front of you. Sure. And the trick is in getting down to doing that. I mean, like you did. One wise thing I thought you did is that you didn't ask too many. You were sure. You just went in for it, and you didn't ask for too many opinions, too many suggestions. Probably they would have kind of somehow convinced or discouraged you, quite possibly.
Absolutely. Because a lot of factors. Because I also knew that there are many factors against my decision because there are liabilities, there are EMIs going on, and I have to take care of the family. So a lot of things were going on. But so I knew that the moment I start talking, they are going to pull me back. So and I'm going to get into getting convinced that no, this is not, and then I'll never be able to do it because I was at that age that the further I delayed, it would become even more difficult for me to really get it.
Yeah, I mean, 2.5 years back when I started wanted to start a YouTube channel, I was 35 years old. So it just started when I was 35, 3 years back.
Yeah.
Nobody got it. Anyway, Janatho.
So I have prepared a kind of presentation. So I want to even if one person gets inspired today,
Yeah.
I'll be happy having done this presentation. So what I'm trying to share here is that what I started clicking initially, and what how did I change? What steps did I take? How did I get to know about small things which should not have been done, which I should abolish or I should adopt, and so do's and don'ts of my growth into photography. And so my first few images which I was clicking, unfortunately I could not I could not locate what I was wanting to show, but still there are some images which will give a lot of idea as to how things happen. And then probably I will start sharing my current set of images, what do I do. And
Absolutely.
people might have whatever questions they might have can
Oh, yeah. So that's something which I would like to definitely tell them. Please, please feel free to ask questions during the session. And if we find something, if the presentation is running on full screen, then please hold on. Remember yours, because Jassi sir will not be able to see those questions. Once he is done, then we can get into the questions. All right.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
sir.
So okay, let me share this. All right.
Perfect. So,
so can you see the screen?
Yeah, absolutely. You're on your presentation is on screen, and the stage is yours. Please go ahead.
All right. So unleash the artist in you. So I am saying this today that if I can do it, anybody sitting out there can do it. And I have somehow tried to figure out how to be creative. It has not been an easy journey. There have been a lot of challenges because of many reasons. One certainly was that I started at an age where I did not have time at my disposal. I could not have thought that, okay, now I have 10 years, I have 12 years, I have 20 years, and I can learn the right way and then progress the way I should progress in photography. So I was in a hurry. I had to make everything come fast, and so I don't advise anybody to do that. But I'm just trying to share my story. And then, like any other industry, newcomers are never welcome. So we might say that we are here for newcomers and we are here to teach. Let's be honest. Nobody wants competition, and the moment people see competition coming, they feel threatened, and that is precisely what was happening. And I could see that, and so I had to do everything on my own. I did everything on my own, but I was making a lot of mistakes, which I was not realizing. So I'm just trying to share how I overcome those mistakes and write from my experience and probably. So whatever questions you have, you can ask. So my aspirational days. So my aspirational days, I say, because I was aspiring to be a photographer. I think I'm still aspiring to be a photographer. So every day is an aspirational day because there's no day which can be a fulfilling day. Because the day I feel that I'm fulfilled as a photographer, that is the day my growth as a photographer will stop. So anyways, I can call it initial foray into photography after having purchased my DSLR. So anything. So I wanted to show something else actually, but I did not get it. So this is that seed with silken seed which really floats around during these days also, and whatever would come my way, I would click it. So I would click this, I would click a macro, I would click a flower, I would click a petal, I would click a grass, blade, whatever. But I would click. So I will always have camera in my hand. Nothing is there in this image. The composition is not there. It's just another snapshot. of something. Part of the image is focus, major part of the image is blurry, out of focus, and it's a distraction to the eyes. And then this was my version of portrait. Click something, crop it tight, add a lot of contrast. The focus is missing from many areas on the many spots on the face. There is the details are lost in the beard, the hair, and everything. All there is the texture. I've tried to artificially add on the skin using something on Lightroom. But yes, this was it, and this is how I was getting a lot of accolades on Facebook. There was no Instagram that point of time, so Facebook, and there were few websites. For example, Canon that time had a image sharing website, Canon Edge. Canon Edge I think still is there, but that time it was purely an image sharing website, so we could share there. Flickr was there, and we could share on Flickr. So I was on Flickr to begin with. So I was hooked onto social media right from day one, and the result was that these kinds of images were getting a lot of accolades, and I was getting spoiled. Anyway, so this image, but then what I did, everything wrong in terms of exposure and nothing, but there's a moment. But then what I did was that I could, somebody told me that you have to resort to post-processing. And I took it in the wrong way. So I started adding textures using post-processing. I'll pick up a texture file, and I started learning that, and I started putting that on every image that I would shoot. Whether that will go with the feel of the image, whether that will enhance the feel of the image, or whether that will ruin the feel of the image, it did not matter. All mattered was that I'm doing something, and people were saying wow, wows, wows, and I was getting carried away, and I was enjoying. And I wasted a lot of time. My initial few months, when I said that I did not have time with me, I must say that I was still wasting time because I did not realize what is right, what is not good. There was nobody to tell me, nobody. That time, YouTube, all these tutorials were also not available. All we could get was Better Photography magazine, maybe, if I remember it right. And then there were some assignments, and I will share a couple of images from that assignment as well, which I took. So I started taking up those assignments. But by result, there was nobody to tell me that how to improve upon those results. And so anyways, I was enjoying. Now this was an assignment that came in Better Photography at that point of time, and said that it was Diwali time, I think, and they said that why don't you experiment with, in the magazine, that experiment with the lights. So zoom, burst, and move the camera while the shot is on, slow shutter, and while the shutter is still on, still open, you move the camera in different directions. It also said throw the camera in there. I did not do that. I tried everything else. The results right in front of you. So one was this. There are many. I'm just sharing 2-3 images here. And I used to name them as well. So these are all decorative lights that we put outside our house during Diwali. So these are all those lights, and slow shutter and moving the camera while the shutter is open. And this some interesting results, but nothing which I can call photography. So it was helping me gain control over probably the relationship between aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. And without even realizing, without even deliberately working towards it, I think, gaining experience in that. And these were the images that were getting created. So anyway, this was my version of landscape. So it is so funny that I was always interested in landscapes and wildlife, and I had no clue what the landscapes are and what the wildlife is. What is the right way to shoot? Yes, They was flicker. Yes, they were phenomenal images, but as a typical human behavior, whatever you are shooting, you are getting good response from people, and you feel that those images are good because they are shot in a good location. You understand my point? Not because I would never think that they are good because photographer has done something, has done some hard work trying to create an image. And I would say now those kinds of locations are not available to me in India. And so whatever is available to me, I'm clicking that. So what's big deal? And I'm getting a good response. So when I look at this, if you look at this, there's nothing in this. It's just another snapshot, and probably the clarity slider is also moved beyond a certain point, so it's not looking good at all. But yes, this I was so gung ho about this image that I would always I started clicking these kinds of images more, and this was when I went to Kerala somewhere. And so though it is lush green, this was my version of finding green. So in the name of experimenting, I was trying to find something which is not looking good. I don't know what to call this an image. Anyway, so now this is in Pune. When I remember when I went to Pune, I went to Bulshi Dam, that side, and clicked this image. Probably I was learning the rule of thirds that time, so I was trying to do something. Maybe foreground also I was learning, but again there was one thought in my mind that post processing. So I would come back and make a mess of it, and they would garner so many likes. You can't believe. But I was getting misguided by all those likes. Anyway, so this was my version of landscape that point of time. And then this image, this was taken in, it does not really matter where was it taken, but I remember this was taken in Ogla Bird Sanctuary in Delhi NCR. And there's an interesting story behind it. I clicked this and I processed it like this. There are 2-3 versions. I'm showing you a milder version of my post-processing. I could not find what I wanted to show. Is an extreme version of this, but I could not locate that probably. I don't know. I lost it somewhere. Anyway, so and then I suddenly got into one photography contest that was running that point of time, and so I said, why not participate in that contest. I was in love with this image to such an extent that I said this image will win, and I submitted this image. Now, obviously, this image could not have won, so I did not win any, not even an honorable mention. And instead of feeling that I have to improve, I started getting into that feeling that this is a biased contest. They deliberately did not pick this image. And believe me, these were my thoughts. And today I laugh at it so much that how naive I was to even believe that this image is worthy even to share with somebody. Forget entering into a contest. But that is what the that is what the reality was, and I was not in good mood. I was in nasty mood for almost 10-15 days after the declaration of the result of this particular contest where I had entered, and I did not do any photography during those days. I was sulking, and I was in a horrible situation. I hope I am audible because this pin drop silence is. Sir, you there? Hello?
Of course, we are there. We can listen to you. We can hear you perfectly well. Please go ahead.
All right.
All right.
So why I'm trying to show this is that I see a lot of people getting into this set of mind while in their initial years, and there's nothing wrong in it. I'm not saying, I'm not even trying to mock my own self. No, that is not the criteria. I just want to show that if you're going through this, you have hope. And because and I was enjoying. So my point here is that whatever you're doing, continue doing. It is good to experiment. It is good to this process of walking from point A to point B and coming back to point A without having improved, going in circles, creating mediocre images, at times even creating horrendous images, is good. Everything is good as far as you are at the job. You're creating, you're clicking images. You are in the job of understanding what is going on. But what is also important is trying to figure out how to really start getting out of it and now start improving. And let me take you to another. This was the image. I was learning that time how to create a perfect black background. And I very clearly remember I had seen this this small tutorial kind of a thing in a post by one Captain Suresh Sharma. Captain G, I don't know whether he'll be watching this or not. So he was an established photographer. He was a wonderful photographer. He still is a wonderful photographer. And he had given some tips on how to get a perfect black background in outside lighting conditions without using a black cloth. And I was experimenting with this, and I clicked this, and I created post-processing. Was not up to the mark, but I still could do it, and I was very happy. But I did not like it. Why? Because I did not like the symmetry of two flowers. One flower is pointing straight to the left-hand side and one direction, other flower is tilted. And instead of understanding and realizing that this is how the flower is, so how could I capture it differently? So in post, I created something totally different. I created this. Now, the moment I created this, I was so happy. I said, wow. So if anybody can figure out that it's a mirror image, so I cut, pasted this flower on the other side and did all that gimmickry thing. And the moment I shared it on Facebook, that time Facebook had come. And I again remember one name. There was this Mega Shot was one group. The owner of that group was Cyrus Kamak. He was an amazing person. So I posted on his group, and he immediately said, "I know what you did." And I said, "No, you don't know what you did. What I did." He said, "You have done this, this, this." And I get caught into an argument with him. I said, "No, you're wrong. It's an original image. I have not done anything to it." That kind of thought process that I was in, can you believe that? And that is, it's a reality. And I was so mad at myself that I have done some shitty job of it, that somebody could catch it. Somebody could identify that I've done something wrong. And later on, he told me, when I started realizing, so I had a tiff with him, and I stopped posting in his group, and I stopped interacting with him. Then he came once, he spoke on a chat, Facebook, and he said that it is not to tell you that what you did is wrong. It is just to tell you that you did what you did, accept it, and it's a decent result. Why you have to tell a lie? And that was the time when I had already started going into the transformation phase of trying to correct myself and trying to do something meaningful and trying to understand that where am I going wrong and how to improve. And then that is when I started accepting critique in a more positive way. And so again, nothing wrong with this, but do not get into defensive mode. You got it. I got into defensive mode because I thought that I did wrong. To begin with, while I was doing, there was a thought in my mind that I'm doing it, I'm cheating. And that is why when somebody caught me, I was aggressive. And I have a hearty laugh whenever this. I have not forgotten those days because they were golden days for me. And then I read this quote: "Look and think before opening the shutter. The heart and mind are the true lens of the camera." I think this quote and few other inputs changed the way I looked at photography. And there was a sudden change in the way I was trying to do photography, the way I was behaving, the way things. So it is not just, photograph is not just picking up the camera and pressing the shutter. You have to feel it. You have to, your soul has to be there. You have to understand why you are even clicking. And you have to enjoy that process of clicking. And then it has to be storytelling in its own way. And that is when I started trying to improve. So I would like to come if there are any questions, sir.
Well, there are many questions. So let's take a few questions from the viewers. Okay, so this is a basic question from Tech YouTube. Which camera should be taken at the beginning of photography?
Tech YouTube, actually it does not matter. I did not mention the name of the camera, model of the camera for a specific reason because it really does not matter. How about starting with a humble mobile phone? It's as humble as 40,000, 50,000 and above. But start with that and then move on to something better, because I'm coming to my presentation will tackle this part.
Sure.
Why I'm not talking about the camera here right now. And so you can start with anything because in the beginning, any camera will produce a better result than my own skill level. I hope you
that's very important, very important. Yes.
Yeah. So my skills are not helping me create images at that point of time. So any camera would do. Yeah.
Okay, so this was a very critical question. Jassi ji, as you left the secure job at this time of COVID-19, have you still, I mean, you have a little regret about losing, I mean, letting go of, or resigning from your regular 9-to-5 job?
No, not at this point of time. There is no point going back to the trying to cross over the bridges that you burned in pursuit of moving this far. So probably had this COVID-19 happened within 3 or 4 years of my leaving the job, then probably my answer would have been yes. At this point, a thumping no. I'm not earning money. Our businesses come to a standstill, zero earning, and I don't see this getting reversed in next couple of months or few more months, or probably even 2020. But no regrets at all.
You've traveled far into the photography journey that it's a kind of a place where you're not even considering returning as an option.
There is no option. There is
absolutely.
And when I was moving ahead, it was very important for me to ensure that I burn all the bridges that I'm crossing. Because see, try and understand. You go into financial constraints while you are getting into this, and it is bound to happen. And then there are expenses to be taken care of. They don't go. Instead, they pile up. They start piling up. They start growing. And then you look back and you have all those friends of yours who are still working, and they would be buying new cars. They would be buying new mobile phones. The way they are buying branded clothes, and you see them, and even when they are smiling genuinely, you feel that they are mocking at you, because you are not doing well. And it is very easy to get attracted towards that and go back. So
Absolutely.
I took some harsh steps, which I mended later, and is even cutting off with my friends circle and not talking to them at all, because I didn't want to get distracted by what they were doing. And
Say,
so your focus has to be on what you want to achieve.
absolutely. Perfect. I think you can you please continue with the next part of your presentation.
All right. So, okay. So
Okay.
now,
There you are on full screen.
yeah,
You can
yeah.
start your presentation.
So these were the learnings that were coming to me almost simultaneously. I am not sure what I learned first, but yes, I was learning these things. And I came into fast forward mode, trying to improve, do a lot of things, attending a lot of workshops. I was attending, and a lot of things were happening. So yeah, a good photograph is knowing where to stand. So unfortunately, I don't have very good backstage images, but whatever I could, couple of images I've shared. So um, I know that all new photographers they already are aware of this and they are doing this, but initially I was not doing it. So my initial posture of clicking an image is standing upright, as if I am some king, and very stiff at my backbone, not ready to bend, and my images were also that cold in their final result without creating any warmth. And then this also, that same thing, where to stand or where to lie down or what you do. Basically, you should know how to position yourself for a particular image, and don't think twice to take that position and compose your shot and play. Now, this is the first thing that I understood and realized, uh, that photography is not different than any other career option that we take. If I have to take it as a career option, if I have to take it at a commercial level, trying to make money from photography, so then I am trying to convert my hobby, my passion, into my commercial venture. Um, I don't know that is right or wrong. People have their own differing opinion, and everything is acceptable as far as it's helping them. But so investing in education is what I want to talk about it at least for 2-3 minutes, trying to make you understand what is education and what is the importance of it. So there are two images here. What is the first image? The first image is of a library. All right. Second image is of a classroom. What is the relevance in this presentation? The relevance is very, very clear. Today's Google and YouTube are your libraries. Libraries can never replace proper education. They are reference points. You go to find out one particular information or clear one particular doubt. You go, search a book, pick up a book, read it, come back, apply it, and wow, you've done it. That is what Google and YouTube does. Information is there, more than required is there, but structured information is missing. Not missing, but you will have to structure it. It's there, everything is there. But you will have to pick up the right. You should know what is required at what point of time, and then you compile that on your own, and then study it. If you're not clear as to what to pick, you are going to go wrong. Nothing can replace a proper education. I'm not saying start enrolling yourself in schools and colleges of photography. I'm not saying that. But find a mentor, find a proper workshop, interactive workshop, where somebody is teaching you and you are asking questions. Library, you can't call up the author. Why did you write this, sir? There's no way. It's just not possible. People say that they learned everything from YouTube. Good. But everybody is not a genius. And if they have to grow from that angle, that point where they are right now, they will have to move away, because there's a saying that if you continue doing what you did till now, you will continue getting what you have been getting till now. If you want to get more, if you want to reach a different level, if you want to grow to a different height, you will have to start doing things very, very differently than you have been doing till now. So even today, if I get an opportunity to attend a workshop, I will not hesitate, and I don't hide. What is there to hide? How can somebody claim to know everything, even though I'm a mentor? I have no shame in saying that I don't know everything. There's nothing wrong in it. So try and understand this difference, and find your own ways of getting into some interactive sessions. They are very important. Get rid of gas. What is gas? Gear acquisition syndrome. I mean, I'm not getting a good image. We human beings have this tendency to put the blame on somebody else. I could not do this, so somebody else is responsible for that. There's a saying in Hindi, "Naach na jane aangan tedha." I don't know how to dance, so I'm blaming that the dancing floor was tilted. That's why I could not dance. And then the easier thing that comes in photography is, my camera is not good. Let me buy a new camera. New camera is not. I know it's been said thousands of times and billions of times, and people have said told this to you. You would have heard, you would have read, whatnot. But let me still repeat, because this is what was happening. Within a couple of months, I had purchased my new camera, which was a full frame camera. Was there a need? No, there was no need. But I still went ahead because I was also blaming my camera. Then I realized that it's still not working. My images still don't look good because there are no aesthetic sense in it. There is no compositional rules. I have applied. I understood aperture shutter speed ISO. I still did not apply them appropriately to make them creative or to control light, or underexpose when I had to underexpose, or overexpose when I had to overexpose. I was just clicking every image with the same setting, and things were not working. So gear acquisition syndrome is not the right thing. The worst thing that is going to happen by this is that you will, instead of looking for faults within you, you're now looking for faults in your camera gear. And till you continue doing that, you're not going to improve. So I immediately understood, and I had to move on from there and try and create good images. Second is practice. So they say in Hindi, riyaz. As much as you practice, there is no substitute for practice. And don't practice randomly. So my aim was that even if I was not in a position to go out, I would go out in my own garden and I will pick up a flower and I will click that flower for next 5 days and trying to improve upon that flower shot with every new day shooting. So today that I was trying to create an image of the same flower, same composition, varying composition probably, it had to be better than what I clicked yesterday of the same flower. So I was challenging myself. So you have to do that. Practice as much as you can. So this is what I did. This is one example of practicing and trying to find out. This was my initial first success, which I was also proud of. This is where I started gaining recognition as well, because this was taken at Pushkar and I was in one of the very few. I don't claim that I was the first one because I don't know. But for me, it was a very fresh image that I had created in Pushkar. And it so happened that after I posted this, I won an award and a special mention, and a lot of things happened when I shared this on Nat Geo. And there was editor's note. It won an award. It just fell short of getting published in their yearbook or something, but it brought me a lot of accolades. And whenever people would click, at least for 4 or 5 years after this, similar kind of an image, and they would post on social media or Facebook, people will screenshot that and send it to me, sir, somebody has stolen your image. And I said, no, this is not my image, this is their image. So this was the kind of recognition that I had gained from this. And that was only because of the changes that I was trying to bring. They say that how do you create a good image? Create a good image. There's a 3-step process in that. So visualize, execute, and post-process. You first visualize or pre-visualize. You just don't go and click the shutter, and then execute that in the camera and come back and post-process. Now, post-processing is important. There are a lot of debates about it. I don't want to get into that. If there is some question on that, I will certainly want to take that on that. But yes, post-processing, just understand that post-processing is and will always remain an integral part of good photography workflow. If you don't do this, the workflow in photography is incomplete. How much we can discuss. In some images less, in some images more, in some genres less, in some genres more, in some genre not at all. And that's perfectly all right. This is another image which got me a lot of recognition, and this is where I tried to create, try to visualize totally differently. This was taken in Leh at the Confluence, and I don't know anybody who's gone to Leh and Confluence. Just visualize that Confluence if you have been there, and try to figure out where did I stand to take this. And if you are able to figure that out, DM to me, and I will hug you, because you would have understood the place and you probably will go and experiment there. And I decided to convert into black and white because the sky was overcast, the color palette was not matching, the mountains was dull brown, very ugly looking brown. That is how Ladakh is. Without light, they look brown, and there is no glow in that. And the river was turquoise blue. So somehow the color palette was not matching, and nothing was complementing each other. So I decided to convert into black and white. So I don't enter into contests, so I would not say it has won an award, but yes, it has won a lot of recognition. It was also featured in Nat Geo, Daily Dozens, and 1x.com, and Flickr also initially. It got published in many places. Now this again is an image very close to my heart, because of the weather, and we were in Ladakh, and we were driving towards one particular destination, and it was really overcast, nothing. And a participant asked me, so you always talk about light. How will we click in this particular situation, lighting conditions? So I immediately asked the driver to stop. I did not know where we are stopping. I just asked him to stop. I got out of the car and I started looking around, and I spotted this frame this was very far off, so I had to use my 100-400 lens almost, if I remember it right. I think it was at 400 mm, or I think 400 mm, or 300 mm, somewhere around that. And composed this very simple composition, and I taught them how to really create and how to bring it into black and white, into post processing and create this. Almost everybody created and their own versions of it, and this also got me a lot of recognition. So you continue experimenting and you continue growing up as a photographer. A lot of people say that follow the rules, and that break the rules, and I also started breaking the rules initially without even following them, and that is where things started going wrong. It has become kind of a fashion today to say that break the rules. What rules? Why break? Why break before you even understand? Why not go through the right process of first understanding the rules, implementing those rules in every image that you create for a few years without deviation, and then you will know when to break. Don't break because somebody tells you to break. Don't break because it has become a fad to talk about. Don't do that. And my learning, and I was breaking, and I was, when you start doing things without understanding, then what happens is that when somebody tells you that it does not follow rule of third, and you are realizing that for the first time, that when somebody points it out, and you will say, yes, I did it deliberately. So you start getting into that excuse-itis mode. You always start finding an excuse for your wrong composition, bad post-processing. Get out of it. I took this decision, and very fast, the moment I started realizing. So all these things came to my mind. I started learning within a span of 4-5 months, and my photography improved drastically post that. Believe me, it is that simple and that difficult. Rule of thirds. It still works. When no composition is coming to your mind, come to rule of thirds. Rely on your rule of thirds. It will always work. There is no way that it will not work. Rule of thirds. Very simple. Let me tell you, this has made me earn much more than any other image, because this is one of the simplest images, but it has been sold the most probably by. It has been purchased by many tourism boards for their India-oriented catalogs. Since it's a vertical image, it fits perfectly well for the cover photo, and they paid me handsomely over a period of time. And this image, very simple, but then rule of third is there. Social media. When I was learning photography, initially Facebook was not there, but then Flickr was there. In terms of social media, I don't remember anything else, but no, Facebook had come. Yeah, Facebook was there. Instagram was not there, but Facebook was not very popular initially. At least I was not very kind of active on Facebook, but I was active on Flickr, and I was active on 500px. And I'm going to show you something. I was very active on 500px. 500px, many of you would know. So, and I was very active on 500px. And then Canon has its own site, Canon Edge, where I would get a lot of. There are more interesting stories. If time is there, I'll later on talk about it regarding Canon Edge and so how my interactions went with them. So, anyways, and by the time I started realizing that something is wrong about social media, I did an experiment. I was chatting with somebody, and I did an experiment. There was one image. Let me show you. This was the image that I had clicked. It is not a good image, so don't go by its quality because it was clicked in my very, very initial days. So I had clicked this image, processed it the way I knew how to process, but nothing good about it except some colors in the sky partly. I used this image to understand how social media works and did an absurd looking post processing on this. And I did not only do this, this was an experiment we started getting in as a group of 3-4 friends. And one of them was a very senior photographer, very experienced photographer. So, and I processed it like this. I made it look like this. Some bad. Look at what happened to the snow in the foreground. From this, it has become this, devoid of any details. Sky, I don't know what I did, but we did. And again posted on. I posted this image on 500px, and it did not gain any attention. It was a very mediocre image in terms of the popularity index on 500px and the number of likes and how does it work. And then I re-edited it this way and reposted it. And look what happened. It got popular on 500px with a pulse of 98.8. Anybody who's familiar with 500px will know that what 98.8 means. It garnered 1278 views, 142 votes, and 71 people favored it. And it was also shared by the 500px official editorial team. Can you beat that?
Okay. Yeah.
Can you beat that?
Yeah.
I was dumbstruck. I said, what? I could still understand the first part that it became popular. I can still understand. But editorial team, what did they look into this? I have no clue. And this was my turning point with my love for social media. And not that I don't do it, but I started realizing its perils, how hollow these social media platforms are, how incompetent the people behind most of these social media platforms. I'm not saying all, but most, majority, volume. They don't understand photography themselves and they run photography-oriented platforms. And this is one proof of that. I really, both were shared on Facebook. So my image shared by 500px editorial team. This happened on 3rd of June 2014. The link that you see, if you click on that, you will not find anything now because I have since then deleted it later on. And I did not want it to remain there because nobody will know that I did this experiment. Everybody would know that
you did a shoddy job.
Yeah. So story behind that nobody would know. So I eventually deleted it, but this is there. So I just got these screenshots and to just to share with you. So this is what social media is.
Oh, thanks for sharing this. Thank you. Very, very, very. I mean, it's an eye opener. Yeah.
It's an eye opener.
Yeah.
So and I still remember on 500px under the image, I got so many comments praising, and there were so many. There was just 2 comments which were outrightly derogatory. That this is not photography. To down with editorial team and all those. There were only 2 comments, and rest were all going gaga about this image, and I was shocked. I said, "What's going on, man? This is crazy. This is insane." So
wonderful.
That's how things are. So anyway, let me move ahead. Let me share my work now. I've spoken enough. There are many things. Couple of hours are not enough to justify your journey of 10
Absolutely.
years. So, but yes, in a crux, these are the major decisions and understandings at my end which helped me improve. And then I started creating the images that I'm trying to show now. So I will be, my initial focus will be to show my landscape images, and also I'll also talk about, try and talk about each image, and then I will show you my other work as well. So now this is an image from Norway. We went to this place spot, and fortunately the light was beautiful. Unfortunately, the sky was very uninspiring,
Grand.
uninteresting. We landscape photographers want a lot of things to be happening in sky, but unfortunately, nothing was. Not even a speck of cloud was there. But since we were there, we decided to make the best use of it. So, and all walking all around and creating compositions. I had group with me, and whom I was teaching also. So then we came here. So if you look at this image, there's a visual path getting created by, there's a foreground, and then there is this wave which is creating that brighter part is curving and moving your eyes, helping your eyes move towards that church, which is beautifully lit from the setting sun. So this is how you have to compose these kinds of scenes. If I fail in composition here, this image is dead. I'm not still very happy with this image, not because of my lack of understanding, but probably because of my luck that clouds were not there. So couldn't have done much, but I'm happy that the composition is good. There is a good, interesting foreground element, which is helping me first hook the viewer into that shot, and then there's a wave which is creating a shape, moving it towards your eyes towards the beautifully lit church. So, so one is this. Then coming to this, again, this is in Slovenia. This is one church in Slovenia. When we went to shoot there, the weather suddenly turned very, very bad. The sky was not interesting. The rain was ominous that it will come. It did not till it gave us a lot of time to shoot. But what I noticed was, this is the lake, and there was slight waves which were coming, and they were drifting the dead leaves, autumn leaves on the shore. It got made into an interesting shape. Almost this is encircling the entire church that you see there at that point, and this is creating again another visual path towards the church. And these two stones are also acting as anchors in between, which are helping you move your eyes towards the main element. And the sky is, at that point of time, there was a lot of texture in the cloud. And so I underexposed this image and processed it to really bring this mood into the image. So post-processing, I would like to say a sentence. I've had my own way of sharing why post-processing and why people are shying away from post-processing. There are a few people who do not like post-processing. So my point has always been that post-processing is a means of, it's not a means of correcting your mistakes, don't get me wrong. It's a means of adding your own mood that you're trying to show in the image. So photography is like cooking. Okay, so you enter a kitchen and you go there, you start randomly picking up masalas, Random. No thought. No thought on what masala, no thought on how much masala. You just randomly pick because it's there. Because you are there in the kitchen, so you have to do something, right? So you pick up and you add everything in something that whatever comes in front of you, that becomes your main element. That means main dish to be prepared. And you randomly add those and randomly cook. What will you get? You will get nothing. You will get tasteless food. Don't you think most of us are doing the same with our photography? We go to a location, we choose elements because they are there. We don't choose elements because we want them to be in the image. We don't even think about what is that we want it to look like. A chef, a good chef, knows how his dish is going to taste in the end. This is your dish. You should know right now the final outcome. You getting me? Because if that is not there in your mind, your beginning will be wrong. And then you will be using post-processing to create something what you had envisioned. But it will never be that. So your choice of aperture, your choice of shutter speed, your choice of how much underexposure or overexposure, your choice of composition, your choice of including, your choice of when to do that, and how much post-processing, everything, it's a recipe you add at a particular time. Without that, it's never going to work. So this is one classic example of that I had thought that clouds are nice, the texture, so underexposed, moody image will look better. And this is the result. Now this image was shot from an aeroplane. Yes, using my DSLR, but from an aeroplane. Now aeroplane and at a very awkward lighting condition when the sun was glaring on my window. So I had to really ensure that my camera, I had to remove the hood, I had to press the lens, front part of the lens against as close to the glass, inside glass as I could without damaging the lens, and still hope and pray that glare will not happen. And I was lucky in one way, and this is what I got. This is again one lot of phases. This image was taken at Ladakh, Leh, and I have very interesting. Oh, I should have included those. I have very interesting backstage shots leading to this image. Anybody who was with me during in that group will remember. So with the group, we reached Lake Palace, and we wanted to shoot the sunset from there. But unfortunately, the sky was overcast, and the sky was overcast and flat, so not much was happening. There were some textures, but still not much was happening there. And so we clicked randomly some images, but nothing to do with sunset. Sunset was still far off, but we were still hopeful. There were some suggestions that how about going back, and we said no, we are here, let us stay put. And we were doing a lot of mazak, masti, and a lot of in the group we were doing a lot of stuff, but not doing any photography. Then suddenly, but I had an eye on this sky. Then suddenly we saw that this could be a possibility that we could get light here, and that is when we all got ready. I told everybody to be ready, and the sky, and we still had to be lucky because
Okay, so that is we need to just hold on because Jassi sir is using his big camera as the webcam, and obviously we are close to 1 hour 20 minutes, and the battery must have run out. So he will come back. In the meantime, let's see what is I need to share. I want to share a few things with you. Okay, now if you want to learn photography at Pixel Village, we said we have Pixel Village got a website, and this is what Jassi sir does there.
Photography always has been a medium where you do something and then you translate into reality. Master your camera, which you are using, your main camera. Every other thing has to complement the main subject. Keep your image simple, and simple images will always work.
Right. In Pixel Village, Jassi sir teaches landscape photography, fundamentals of photography. He has a couple of free sessions on Lightroom to initiate you into Lightroom. And if I have to quickly take you through, the Pixel Village website, this is how Pixel Village website looks like. So since mobile phone is the hot topic, this is mobile phone photography. Let me see how it looks on our website. Yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Let me go to this website, and we also have many other classes for that's me. That's and these are the kind of classes which are available on documentary photography, studio lighting, beginner photography, and then you have fashion, wedding, and architecture photography. And you can go to the courses and find, this is now being live streamed on our website. Well, there are lots of free sessions available. Then these are all paid sessions. These are specially curated. We have shot it these are devised only for you. Like I said, a whole host of topics are being covered here, including food photography and architecture and interior photography and documentary photography and studio photography, studio lighting. So let me quickly go to one of Jassi sir's session here. Where is landscape? So you can find it right here on top, and if you click on landscape photography, and you will find this fantastic session. They are available in English, Hindi, and I think he's also done one in Punjabi. Yeah, there it is. So you have it in Punjabi, and you click there, go watch a small trailer, and if you like it, you can buy it. And once you buy it, this is yours, for yours to keep. And we also have online photography education app. It's currently available on Android, and I will share the link right here with you. So because like I said in the beginning, that's about our Pixel Village. We are well into 1 hour 30 minutes. So let me quickly make the winner announcement. Winner the second day. We have five. We have five exactly. Yes, five. Prizes to give away. One we gave away yesterday. Today we're going to be giving away a Digitech flash to one lucky subscriber who bought classes from us in May. And this is made possible by one of these great people at Pixel Village. I'm sorry, at Digitech. So the Pixel Village team is standing by. We're doing it digitally. So let me go straight to that lucky dip. Here it is. That's the lucky wheel. Okay, Pixel Village team, roll that wheel of fortune, please. Okay, there it goes. And maybe you can keep clapping while this is happening. And well, I would like, yeah, there it is. Okay, Kaushik it is. Is it Kaushik? Yes, that's Kaushik, wonderful. So Kaushik, we will quickly try to get in touch with you, see if we can bring you onto the screen while the session is on. So Jassi sir, hope you enjoyed that quick lucky dip that we conducted online. So Kaushik, you are the lucky winner of this amazing Digitech 088 flash. So we will send you a mail and we will take your address and we will make sure that this reaches your home or office, wherever you want it to be. So so that's what today's presentation ceremony is about, or rather the lucky dip is about. I'll quickly add the Pixel Village app link. You can use that app link and download your your copy of Pixel Village app. All right, Jassi sir, back to you. And thank you very much, Pixel Village team, for making this lucky dip possible. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, your presentation is on the screen.
All right. So okay. So and so we have to be quick, and then the result is right in front of you. There's a spotlight. There was a glow on the mountain, and we could get it, and almost everybody got it, and that's the beauty of it. Stay patient. You don't hop around. Hopping around doesn't help at times, because then nature also starts hopping around with you, and it doesn't give you opportunities. So be patient, and what if you don't get an image that day? It's perfectly all right. Nothing, the sky is not going to break, and nothing is going to happen. Don't worry. So this is again one image which I really like, the visual flow, the movement into the scene, and then complementing textured clouds. So black and white for obvious reasons, because the color palette was not matching, and I was not very happy with the Ladakh could be very, very challenging, because these brown hills, if I go back, when there is light on them, they glow golden. When there is no light of them, then they look very damp, brown, uninteresting. And so you have to be knowing when to click and what to click, and so and this is a result of that. This was taken at Iceland, and we wanted to capture the sunset in this iconic location. And the sun was initially blazing bright, but as it started setting, we started getting some cloud cover, not too much. So I decided to underexpose it, and the light was falling directly from the front at certain spots. So just accentuated it and processed it to create the dark mood as well, and so that I could show what I had visualized as a final outcome.
Amazing. I mean, I must at this point say, what a transformation from that, that greenery in Munnar to this is like an amazing transformation. I must say, I don't know. I mean, it really gives. I mean, in fact, somebody actually said that your story gave me the confidence and inspiration. That is Aditya Mara. One of our viewer here now is actually said that, and which is amazing. And this is I mean, it's true. I mean, looking at that, I mean, it's you call it dreamscapes. It is definitely nothing short of a dream.
Yeah, see, at some point of time, I'm saying nothing wrong with that.
I'm talking about your professional journey. I mean, your career journey. From doing. Okay, I will come to that later. But I can't hide my excitement. Anyway, please carry on. Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah. This was taken at Faroe Islands, and again the same story. This story is not related to actually the landscape finally creating the image, but story is more related to hunger pangs. Couple of us were driving, another friend of me, Prakash, who was there with me, and we were driving. And this place has no restaurants, nothing at all. And we drove to this place, and we were hungry, and we were frantically looking for something. तो कहते ना खाली पेट तो भजन भी नहीं होता, photography कैसे होगी? And we found one uncle who, in his house, he was trying to make some, I don't remember what, but he was making some snacks. Exorbitantly expensive, but and very less quantity, but we still had, and that gave us enough. And when we reached this spot, overcast sky, it was raining before that, and it stopped raining, and we could create this image. So sky was opening up right in front of us, and that is how this image came up. Long exposure. I am very fond of long exposure. So
Nothing short of stunning. Nothing short of stunning.
Thank you. Thank you. This is again at Faroe Islands, and so there's a lot of hiking to be done when you photograph in this particular country. So we did hiking here as well. The weather was very bad, and the ground on which we were, field on which we were walking and hiking was very slippery. The grass was slippery. It was slushy, mud slushy, and carrying a heavy backpack with a tripod and filter set, everything is not easy. We found a spot, we set everything up, and then we saw a rainstorm coming. And we were in two minds whether to stay back or suddenly move towards our car and save ourselves, because it was very visible right in front. It is moving towards us, and we had heard a lot of stories about these storms. And but what we did was we stayed put. We covered our cameras. We prayed. We hoped that it will not do much damage, and except obviously we will be getting wet, but that was acceptable. And luckily it came. It drenched us. It kind of unnerved us also because it was very strong winds and all, but it eventually passed. And when it passed, you see the light in front of you. And that was the reason. So patience always pays. So you have to stay determined at times, and you will get your reward. This is very cliched composition. So centered, almost centered composition, reflection, no foreground element. It was not possible. There was nothing, but we created it. I created that. And not exactly long exposure, but slightly slow shutter, because I wanted to smoothen out the water ripples, because I didn't want them to be distracting. It was so smooth and serene. And so created this image, sunrise shot. So sun is rising right in front of, when you look at the frame, that more glow on the right hand side of the frame is where the sun is rising. Now this is very close to my heart. There's a visual path that you see, and the weather was so bad. This was created in Iceland last year. So weather was so bad that we were at this spot, very near to walking distance from this spot, for 2 days, for 3 days actually. For 2 days we could not click anything. And third day we could click, and this is what we got. Weather was still bad, but it's now the sky had some texture. Light was slightly coming out and showing. So all that was required was to find a good pool of water which could make a good foreground element and help me create the visual path. And so there's a processing that has gone into it to show the way I wanted to show. A couple of my favorite topic in landscape is shooting auroras. So one is this image. This was shot in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere. We were driving from one place to another in the middle of the night, and suddenly There was no forecast, but suddenly we see that the Aurora dance is happening. We stopped wherever we were. Luckily, we had space on the side of the road and put the tripod and started clicking. We clicked for a couple of hours, and that was amazing. This image won me a photographer of the year award, though I had not entered as an award, but in a group, Facebook group, World Photography Group, I think, if I'm remembering it right. I had just posted it as I post in some groups, and there they picked it up, and they had an annual contest. There it won Travel Photographer of the Year. So this, I think I will move little fast now. This is one Aurora image from Norway, where the KPI was, the forecast for the Aurora was very strong, and the sky was still blue in the evening, and the Aurora started showing up, and it was so strong that it was difficult to believe. And so we just stopped by the side of the road, and you could see the light streaks of the cars passing by. And so we are on the other side of the road, and this is what I chose this, and luckily the Aurora formed as a shape of a flame, and it was right there. This was from Bali, kind of a travel image also that I do, and not much about it, but yes, I thought of including it here just to show the diverse images. This is from Pushkar. These kinds of shots are not possible now at Pushkar, but I am so happy that I worked hard to get this kind of shot for 3 days. I continuously, every morning I will go for sunrise. Sun is rising right from behind the guy who's holding the leash for both the camels, and would position myself at a spot which was not very comfortable and click. But this shot was not possible the moment sun would come up. So maybe half an hour window. For 3 days, 2 days, I could not get this shot. Something or the other was going wrong. The overlap was happening because these camels would run. They were running. They were not walking. And you had to be lucky. And then third day, I could get one shot. And this has again been a learning for me, because when you decide to do something, just go full focused on that. I was not shooting anything on those 3 days, especially in the initial sunrise time. I was just focused on getting one shot, and I finally got one shot. Very simple portrait, but I wanted to bring out the this is Rudraksh Baba from Kumbh Mela, so I just wanted to bring out the contrast between his body paint, the chillum that he's burning, and the hand color of the skin on hand and the eyes. So there's a different kind of a look. This has been featured in many places, including even Nat Geo, and I was not very happy with this image or the tilt that I had done in the composition, but since it got featured in many prestigious places, including Nat Geo, I think I should have done something right.
Obviously.
This, I wish I could show you the backstage of this where I was standing, but this was not an easy shot. Such shots are never easy shots. It's very easy to stay far from the scene and create those iconic and top of larger than life kind of images. But creating these shots, you have to be in the middle of it. You have to be wrestling. If you want to shoot a wrestler, be in the wrestler's ring and be a part, if it is allowed.
Absolutely.
Zoom lenses, staying far will not get you that feeling of what is going on there. So I am in the middle of those colors and I am drenched myself. And
I've seen your picture. Doing this shot. You can't really figure out. You got a electronic wiper on your glass, which is cleaning a glass like that. Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah. This I just shot. This I just shot in this Holi, just before the COVID-19 broke out, and I really love this shot. This is featured on onex.com. Nat Geo had already stopped their daily dozen, so I did not post it there. But this is very close to my heart, and it was a random shot. I did not ask her. There were many posed shots that I did of the same person, but all those posed shots have not come out good. One which I took without her or him knowing it, it has come out good. I also do fashion, beauty portraits, and just to show you these, and quickly, and just to showcase what I do. I've dabbled with wildlife as well, and decided to include these after yesterday's inspiring session with on my YouTube channel.
Oh yes, I saw that. Yeah, wonderful
and so I thought that why not? So I dug these old couple of images out, and I thought of sharing it here. And so one is this, one is that, and so there is a storytelling going on happening here.
You are pretty close to those animals, right? You're not really far away.
There is no. I'm a telephoto. I used 100-400 lens at 400 mm on a full frame body. So effective was also 400. I'm very far. We can't be very close. It's very difficult to be very close. You have to be very lucky to be very close. So no, it appears this way. Yeah. No.
Okay.
So thank you, friends, and okay. So any questions? I'm ready to take anything.
Oh yeah, wonderful.
Anybody wants to ask?
Hey, first of all, thank you very much, Jassi sir, for that eye opener. It was not just a presentation. It was I think somebody would have paid to listen to that session, because it was not only educative, it is also inspirational. From doing completely discordant kind of professions, from chemistry to business to IT to insurance, and then from there, trying to do one completely diabolical, something completely disconnected profession, and being the kind of conviction that you had to make that jump. And like you said, you burned all the bridges so that you will not be even tempted to go back, right? Or you will not even consider going back, because you can't go back. And you have traveled well enough into that journey of being a photographer. Now you are not only doing amazing photography, you're also inspiring millions to do photography, and you're also teaching them to become a better photographer. So thank you very, very much for being here. I mean, I can see tons of, and if I have to pull out some, Jassi sir is blur. That's probably because of your bad internet connection, quite possible. Or maybe it is Jassi sir's connection, or maybe Jassi sir focus is gone. I think, Jassi sir, if you want to quickly go out, because when you change your battery, I think your focus got shifted a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So in the meantime, I'll share your coordinates with the people. Yeah. And if you want to really follow Jassi sir, well, let me show you what Jassi sir does besides doing photography. He has this. Where is Jassi sir? Yep, here it is. Okay, this is what Jassi sir does. He has this amazing website, YouTube channel called Exploring Light. Of course, he also has the website where he's regularly conducting these, during lockdown. He has these lockdown conversations that is happening with great photographers. You can go back. I mean, they are recorded. They're currently available. You can go watch them. He also has these tutorials. So let me see if I can pull out all the videos. Oh, there they are. You can see the amount of work that he has been doing. All that was oh, there I am. I'm also featured there. And these are, his amazing tutorials and product reviews, and so please go to Exploring Light and subscribe his channel. So it is Exploring with Exploring Light. So maybe I will just copy and paste his YouTube channel on to the comments box in YouTube, so that you can use that to subscribe. Let me send it to all destinations. I may be having a little bit of problem trying to copy and paste this. Yeah, it's gone to the Facebook. It's not going to YouTube. Anyway, so let me now stop sharing this stream, and let me also show you the kind of thank you. Radha, you should be P. Mustafa sir on this. You should bring P. Mustafa sir onto this session. I should bring P. Mustafa sir onto the session. If Mr. Mustafa wish to come on to the session, let him please send me a WhatsApp message on this number. And whoever, in fact, wants to come in and ask a question to Jassi sir, I can send you an invite, and you can actually you can come on live on this session and ask this question, and you can share the screen with Jassi sir. So that's possible. So the number is on your screen. You know what to do. Okay. All you have to do is to send me a consent WhatsApp message onto my number saying your name and what you want to do. I will bring you onto the screen. I'll send you a link. Okay. So let's look at these are amazing reviews that we got. Somebody saying he got it free, all the information, and it's honest information. Wonderful session. Tech Ada Zone saying they like it. Yeah, so many people. Princess Pingu saying wonderful lecture. And how do you sell? Oh, that's a question. Jassi sir. Okay, yeah. The question is, how do you decide price?
Price for what?
Price for the photo, because you mentioned about selling your photograph.
Okay, okay. So now yeah, price is very, it's a very, no, I am not on any stock selling images, this thing. Somehow I have never believed in that, so don't even ask me why, because I have no valid reasons. It's just that I have been little biased against them, so it's perfectly all right. I don't know tomorrow what will be my thoughts, so I'm not rigid on anything. But so when I'm selling, so it has to be, it's very, very flexible. It all depends upon somebody who's buying and for what purpose is buying. So for example, there was this first time that image, that holy colored, paste smeared boy holy image. That first time I was approached by this lady from Australia who said that she is from Australian tourism board, and they are trying to bring out India packages, India-oriented packages, and there was some treaty between India and Australia, and they wanted to showcase and they wanted to print a brochure. So obviously, when they want to make money out of it, so my price goes higher. And so she asked me how much, and so I told them the price. Now they are so ethical that she told me that the minimum that they can pay is this much. So it was slightly higher than what I had quoted. And though I had quoted decent amount, and I said, okay, now I could not even go on and said that you pay me beyond minimum. So
you know okay. How we start. You know how we start our conversation. We start with the conversation saying, "Sir, पैसा नहीं है, तो आपको फ्री में देना है, तो दे दीजिए. But चाहिए तो मैं थोड़ा बहुत दे देता हूँ."
Right. So so that way it goes, and so you have to decide. So if somebody is buying for their house, and you know that the person is genuinely asking for his house, then you depend upon. It's all your price. So there's no fixed MRP. You can sell it for 2,000. You can give it for free. You can sell it for 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. I have sold one print for 40,000 as well. And so it all depends upon what you want to get out of it. But more than that, if you're doing your good work, your stories will be, magazines will be also after you. They will publish your images, his story, and that also, they will also pay you for that. For example, my holy story, all the holy images, was published in, I don't remember the year, I think it was 2018, in the March or April issue of Swadika magazine, which is the official magazine for Thai Airways, Swadika. And story was published and I was paid handsomely for it. Yeah.
All right. So there is one person who wants to come online, and I have sent JMJ wants to come online. JMJ, I've sent you the link. Just click on the link, and you will be brought onto the screen automatically. You don't have to do anything else. So we'll wait for you, Joel Mark, JMJ. You can use your mobile phone. You can use your computer, whatever that you want. Just make sure that you got a webcam and a microphone. A mobile phone would be perfect. Just click on that link and you will be brought onto our screen, and we will share it, the screen, with your friends. Can I ask, and doubts when prompted, of course. Can I ask you doubts when? Yeah, of course you can ask.
Yeah. See,
doubts
whatever,
if you
just ask anything. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever questions that you want to ask, photography related, of course, and you can ask, and Jassi sir will be there to answer your questions. So Jassi sir, fantastic, and there was great, presentation. I mean, we had, in fact, we had Wesley from Malaysia today. We had people from Saudi Arabia. We had Sufyan from England, UK, London. He said he's from London. And of course, we have my fellow countrymen from, the God's own country. They were there, and they are still there, I'm sure. And wide range of people, from all over the place were there. Okay, wonderful. So I'm so happy that we did it today. And thank you very much. And while you were trying to fix the focus, we shared your YouTube channel. And Jassi sir also has a website called Exploring Lights. That's where he runs. He has these photo tours. Yeah. So why don't you please talk to them about what you do at Exploring Lights?
Exploring Light, see, when I wanted to start, when I wanted to get into photography education or sharing my knowledge, because I decided to get into that primarily because when I was trying to find something, I was not finding any credible source of information or learning, and there was nobody to guide me. So I thought, why not me, and let me start doing that. So that is when I started Exploring Light, and so it has gone a lot of transformation from the day it was started, but Exploring Light is the current version. So there we do photography tours covering landscape, culture, festivals, portraits, street, lot of different genres we cover and take you to different places. So it becomes a travel also, it becomes fun also, it becomes a lot of learning also on the field. So photography oriented tours. Then we have workshops as well, where we conduct classroom sessions, which is not possible now. So everything has come to a standstill because of COVID. No travel is happening, no workshops are happening. So, but eventually I think we will be able to start very soon. So once we start, we'll be again back with it. So, but when I was starting with this venture, it was my thought was that why not start with Jassi Oberai photography or Jassi Oberai workshops or something like that. Then I said that I can't be thumping my chest or to such an extent that I become the hero of everything. I'm nothing against people who do that, but my thought was that photography is very vast, So I cannot be knowing everything. So when I am getting into an education, then I must get more mentors who are experts in other genres as well. And that is why I created this Exploring Light. So where we have other mentors as well who come and give the tools and conduct the workshops and all those things. But we are not right now into online education portal kind of a thing. That is where we have associated with Pixel Village. We have
Thank
our
you
own
very much
YouTube
for that.
channel. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much.
I am very clear that education, nobody has a copyright on education today. So and there is no conflict between. I don't see any conflict between Exploring Light and Pixel Village. In fact, we all complement each other. As far as
Absolutely.
we are trying, our heart is in the right place, and we are trying to reach out to as many as we can.
Wow. Thank you very much for that. And I think, like I said, these are not the times of, the days of competitions are gone. This is the time of collaborations. And we have to all work together. It's very apparent from, look at any sphere of life. The days of competition, days of people saying mine is, I am bigger, I am larger, or I do the best, and all that, those days are gone. These are the days of collaborations, coexistence, anything to do with cooperation is what will take us forward. And it's very clear in the present times, And so we also got a lot of messages saying that the people from Andhra Pradesh, people from Tamil Nadu, the people from Canada, William Chang is watching from Canada. We have viewers from America. Fatima Ahad is watching us from America. Then we have someone from Dubai, and we have people. Yeah, so we have a nice viewership today, and Kerala, of course. So I am out of the take. Okay, so there is one more question. Maybe we can take this. An interesting question.
Yeah.
Santosh Vadivel is asking how to deal if I am out of the ideas to take a photograph. Any tips to overcome art block?
It's a very good question. I have been in artistic block, photographer's block many a times, and I think everybody gets into that. I even created a YouTube video which is there on Exploring Light YouTube channel, and how to overcome creative block. So you can check that also. But when you get into that, there could be many reasons. First of all, try and find out your reason. And you will not be able to find out your reason till you are trying to force your way into it. Relax, step back, sit, understand. Depending upon what you shoot, let us say I'm into landscape mode. So I would go to a scene, go to a place, and I would not pick up my camera. I would let myself relax in that beauty of nature. Or if you are a portrait, you could be doing shooting anything, but take a step back, relax, try and understand why things are happening, what are happening. Identify that. It could be financial problem. It could be you are not able to create good images. You feel that you are not able to create good images, and everybody else is around you or whom you were seeing earlier to be doing mediocre has suddenly started doing good, and that has created kind of a tension in your mind. It could be that your style has become very similar and you are unable to break that mold of creativity and you are stuck in a particular style. So for all that, just take a step back, relax, give yourself a break, start shooting something totally different, and going so that you start pushing your boundaries. What happens in photography is after some time, everything comes very easily to you. You are able to nail exposure without having to work hard towards it. The moment something comes, you don't even have to think about the aperture setting or shutter speed setting or ISO setting. your subconscious mind does that for you and you create images. How about borrowing a camera which is of a different brand, which is which you are not used to handling? How about shooting at a focal length which you have never shot till now? If you have been shooting portraits and you've been shooting only with 50 mm, then how about start shooting portraits with 200 mm only? Then what you are doing now is you are trying to push yourself to create something totally new. You are taking your mind off from what you used to shoot, where you had gotten into the comfort zone. And now since you are putting your mind to work, you will eventually come out of your creative block also, because now you would have created some image which otherwise you would not have created, and which will somehow give you that thrill and joy of having created something totally different. There are many things, but I think we don't. So you can go and check that video as well on my YouTube Exploring Light, and there I've explained that in depth.
Wonderful. Before we, so I'd like to definitely, end the session with, probably you can give a small direction to new photographers, someone who's starting up on their photography, a kind of a message for someone who's starting up. Before you do that, I just want to tell you what is coming up tomorrow. We have Andrew Jones from Los Angeles. He's an audio specialist. He's going to be talking about audio for DSLR mirrorless video making. Audio is, it's a little, I would say, dicey, difficult kind of, aspect of filmmaking. We are all photographers, so we give more importance to photography, and usually audio gets sidelined. So here is Andrew. It's going to be an interesting conversation. He's going to tell you how to get a good audio, how to get good audio when you make films using DSLRs and mirrorless. A couple of weeks back, he talked about mobile phone, audio for mobile phone, smartphone videography, and this time it's going to be on DSLR and mirrorless. After that, in the evening, we have Meeta Shankar. She is a very, very famous, popular, very active photographer. She's a wedding photographer from Bangalore. She works all over the country talking about empathy in photography. Basically, how do you relate to a situation? How do you, instead of trying to get anyway, I know I'm not going to give it away. Let her tell you what she has to say about. So please tune in for these two sessions. We will try to make it as interesting as possible. So we will, Andrew Jones one is already live, so you can set a reminder. Tonight, we will keep this also live so that you can set a reminder. Okay. And so, Jassi sir, over to you. What do you say? What kind of a message would you like to give a beginner?
Okay. That's a very, sounds very easy question to answer, but I find it always difficult to answer, because what is the right advice? And I think the first thing that is coming to my mind today, which I want to speak, is what I've seen in all the beginners today. And I'm not generalizing, so pardon me if I'm wrong. If you are not thinking the way I am saying, then my apologies in the beginning. I have seen many photographers who joining, and right from day one, they are focusing on how can they make money out of it. Now, I find it little funny here and little disturbing as well, because money is an outcome of something. You did not get a job, your first job, when you started finishing your first standard. You did not enter kindergarten, and next day you came back home and said in your whatever childish voice, "Mama, I want to start working." You didn't do that. How is it possible today? You are in kindergarten after having purchased your camera. Give yourself time. It takes time. Did you come to photography? Did you join photography? Did you buy the camera for the love of photography or for the love of money? If you bought it for the love of money, then let me be point blank at you that there are better opportunities, there are better options where you can make a lot of money. And if it hurts you, then I think I'm addressing the right person. If you come for the love of photography, then fall in love with photography. Understand the camera. Give yourself time. Don't get stuck in social media. Social media is I don't know what I could talk about it for days, but so don't get stuck in social media. It's required, but it's still not required. So and learn for the love of it. Improve, build your portfolio gradually, and then you will start creating art. Art creation takes time. It does not happen overnight. So give yourself time. Enjoy the learning process. Keep putting gradual pressure on yourself. Comparing your previous day's images, your previous shot images, and trying to improve on them. And I think that's all. And gradually things will start happening for you. If you start focusing too much on the money part, the commercial aspect, believe me, you will stop learning, you will stop growing as a photographer. And suddenly you will face a situation that you will not know what to do, how to get your next assignment, because everybody else around you would have improved and they would have cornered all those clients who were giving work to you. I think that's the best thing that I can share.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you very much once again. I have one request, Jassi sir.
Yeah.
You were so engrossed and into it, and your signature laughter has not happened in the session much because you were so intensely into it. And so what I want to do is I want to keep you in full screen. I want a hearty laughter from you so that I can capture that and put it as the thumbnail of this video. So here you go. One.
What are you saying? But yeah, I had a lot of fun. So I don't know whether that laughter was good or not, because talking to screen is way different than talking one-on-one. So I'm still getting used to this platform. So
yeah, but that's how things are going to be predominantly for at least for another foreseeable future. I don't think we're going to kind of interact much with people in a very close quarters. So people, thank you everyone for tuning in from all over the world. Well, I saw Bahrain. I forgot to mention Bahrain, because when I saw, yes, there is Pradeep Badar. He usually comes in early. He just came in when we were about to close. Anyway, thank you very much. So while talking about, the distancing, be very careful. This is the most critical time. Okay, so don't be adventurous. I know things are the government has relaxed a little bit, but don't be adventurous. This is the most critical time. Whatever that you do, take enough care. I'm not saying don't go out by all means, but take enough care. Don't go out and invite trouble. Okay, at least till the vaccine is released and tested and found, and it is reached to you. So with prayers, let's hope that this is a temporary phase and it's going to pass very soon, and we all are going to emerge as a stronger people on the other side of the event. So look at it only as an event. We saw Halley's comet. In my time, Halley comes in 180 years, I suppose. I happen to see it, in my lifetime. So this is just look at it as one event that you happen to, see it, and a very rare one. It's a little painful too, very painful to many. But it happened, and there is nothing much that you can do besides taking good care of you and your near and dear, and use platforms like this to spread knowledge, understanding, and share whatever that you have with the world. So, Jassi sir, thank you very much once again for your time, and thank you everyone for listening to us patiently for all this time. We're going to be back with another interesting session tomorrow. In fact, 2 sessions tomorrow. Hope to see you there.
Thank
Bye
you, sir.
for
Thank
now.
you for inviting me. I had a wonderful time. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.